Good afternoon and welcome to Get Your Local Business on Google Search and Maps. This is part of the Grow with Google series. I'm Sherry Bales, your local Grow with Google partner. I'm here today to talk to you about the changes that have taken place with what we've come to know and love as Google My Business. Sadly, it's not the same any longer. Some housekeeping details. If you would like to follow along, you can go to google.com/business and be sure you're logged into your Google account. When you get there, you'll be able to follow along and actually practice some of the things that I'll be presenting to you today. So that will be kind of fun. This session is being recorded, and I will be sending a copy of the recording to anyone who has registered for the event. There also will be additional resources provided in the slide deck and in some other handouts that I will send along later. I cannot see or hear any of you, and you cannot see or hear each other because our cameras are turned off. However, there is a chat button in your Zoom controls that you may use to communicate with me. And I also have your questions from ahead of time that you submitted when you registered. I plan to address those at the end of the session. So I'd like to get through everything, and then we'll take the last 15 to 20 minutes. I did schedule this for 75 minutes, just so that we don't run out of time for questions and answers. So I'm prepared for that. You also can get a transcript of this talk today. So what is a Google Business Profile? Let's just jump right in. Here's what we're going to talk about. What's a Google profile? How do I get one? So how do I make one in general? How do I manage the business information on that Google page? And then I'll share, like I said, some more resources with you. First, a quick little video to kind of highlight, this is a tailor shop who didn't really think they needed Google, but they wanted to get found. I'm going to click out to this YouTube, and then I'll bring us right back in. So let's watch this for just a second.
My name is Vince. This is my shop. I opened Village Tailor and Cleaners in 1977. I arrived in New York 4 years earlier from Italy. It was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad. My mother taught me how to sew. When I opened the shop, the first person I hired was my mother. This is Bruno, the store mascot. My little advertisement. As a business owner, you're always thinking, how can you do better? I noticed that customers come in with the clothes in one hand and the phone on the other, always looking up information. So I said to myself, we have to put this store online. Google lets me decide how the shop shows up. I pick photos, I can post special hours, anything. I made this website in 10 minutes using the website builder. And I'm not kidding. Now people walk in and I'm always asking, how did you find us? They used to say, I saw Bruno, so I came in. Now they say, Google. Believe it or not, we're up 30% this year. We're doing enough business. I had to hire more tailors and get some new machines. I've got 3 shops going. My son Vincent Jr. is running one of them, the Village Cobbler next door. I'm in an old-fashioned profession. I work with my hands. I hadn't thought much about putting the business online. Now, I couldn't be happier. Village Tailor, 40 years and going strong.
Let's just get that window shut down, and we'll come back to our slideshow. Get rid of my meeting controls. Okay, so that is an example of a really small business starting out with very little except a dog for marketing. Dogs are always a great marketing tool. Who discovered the value and the power of the Google Business Profile, formerly called Google My Business. If I slip up doing and say Google My Business, I'm going to jot something down here. I'm going to take 2 laps around the house. because I said it wrong. But so every business that has a brick and mortar location can benefit from a Google Business Profile, and several businesses who are not actually brick and mortar, but who provide services out of their home or services that provided in a service area are also eligible to have a Google Business Profile. There are some exceptions, but Google is starting to loosen up those controls just a little bit. So I know food trucks did not used to be included, but I believe that they are becoming popular and included. So this is what is known as a Google Business Profile. This is also sometimes referred to as a knowledge card. It has the name of your business. It has some photos and videos of your business. And you saw that Taylor had several pictures of his business, his services, his products. There are what are known as quick links. And if you've ever done a Google search, again, on Google search or maps, this is what you're going to come up with, are these little buttons called quick links. So in essence, Google has combined what used to be Google search, where this would show up, with Google Maps, where this also could show up and you could get directions. So the old Google Business Profile, Google My Business Profile editor tool is no longer, and I'm going to show you how to manage that page once we get there. This Google Business Profile allows you to put in your location, your telephone number, your hours of operation, even special hours that you might be closed for the coming holidays or special days that you take off that your business is closed. So there's a lot of information you can put here that people will learn about your business very, very quickly without even having to visit your website. Sorry to say that, but it can happen. So this is what they look like. When I do a Google search for Vince's Village Cobbler, you can see that here. This is the Google Business Profile that's going to show up for me as a customer or as a potential customer. These profiles, if they are updated, are almost 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. So when I'm shopping or looking for a business and I pop open my search or my maps and I type Village Cobbler near me or Taylor near me, that's another big one, is the near me search. If this little knowledge card shows up here, it just reinforces people's impression that it is a credible business. Also, when you're showing up on Google Maps, remember you have this option. You're going to show up across both platforms using this one tool. Up-to-date business profiles are more likely to attract location visits. If someone searches on Google and clicks this button right here named Directions, that is when you will have the opportunity to see a potential store visit. So having these directions handy right away can lead to 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. And this is Ipsos Research, Benefits of a Complete Listing 2017. So we know it's even more important than that now. Okay, moving on. We can see these Google search results across any device. I see my head is in the way here. Maybe I can move that up a little bit. Works on your desktop view, works on your laptop view, works on tablets, works on mobile phones, mobile devices. So your business profile, once it's completed, claimed, and published, has an opportunity to show up across any device that your users are actually using. Okay, so how do we get started? All right, remember at the beginning I said visit this link, google.com/business, and you will show up with a page that looks kind of like this. However, if it is not claimed, you'll see a blue button in this profile when you do your search that says own this business, ? Claim it now. If you don't know if you own your business or if you don't recall if you claimed it, I would go ahead and just click that and then find out who that business is claimed by if it's not you. So that's the best case. I'm going to talk about how to manage it a little bit later. But before we do that, I want to tell you how to actually create this page. So this is probably the #1 tool that marketers are missing, in my humble opinion. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Google partner. I'm saying that because I have some great examples I'll share with you of clients who actually didn't use a Google business profile and then did use a Google business profile and what those differences look like. So let's get started on how do we create a Google profile. Well, first thing you have to do is be logged into Google. And it's important to know that Google tools will use the same login. If you use Google for your mail, for Gmail, and you're logged in with that business address, and you try to log into another Google business product, it's going to want you to use the same address. So if you do have a business email, if you do have a business website, and you can use your business account, your email and your website and URL to set this up, that would be ideal. But basically what it's for is to show up in search results, connect with people who are looking for you, post updates. Big thing that's missing from a lot of people's Google business profile. It's kind of like social media and more. So first step, sign into your account. You can see the little sign in button up here in the top left corner. You will put in your email or phone number, and then you will be signed in to Google. If you don't have Google, you can sign up for a Google account for free at accounts.google.com, sign up. So once you have an account and you're signed in, you are ready to find or add your business. Now, remember I said, if you don't see your business show up, or if you do see your business show up, this is where that will happen. So you will type your business. This is that business.google.com, and it's going to say, let's see if your business exists. If you type your business name in here, and as it drops down, you see the name of your business, chances are you have a Google business profile. Now, you might not have created that profile. If enough people are searching for you and your location, Google is going to create a profile for you, and you're going to want to find that and claim it and take it over. So the first thing you do is to add your business name here and see if you actually appear. If you appear, then you're one step ahead. You can keep right on going. If not, you're going to click the Add Your Business to Google button, which you can see just a bit down here. Now, if you have a Google business profile that is saved under another business email address or logged in with another Google account, you might be struggling. So whoever has claimed this might not be the same person on your business email. So it's important to do this search first before we try to go manage it. All right, let's build it out. At this point, we're talking about confirming the name. And I have this thing about the name, address, and phone number being identical across platforms. So for example, if my address is Google Street, 1234 Google Street, and in one place I type 1234 Google ST period, and on another platform, I type 1234 Google STREET. And on a third platform, I type 1234 Google ST with no period for street. You're going to confuse the Google bots. They're going to go, well, I think this is the right place, but I'm not really sure. And maybe I shouldn't send people here just in case. So we don't want to do that. We want to be sure that every stinking platform out there, whether it's your website, a referral site, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, has the identical address the way it appears on your business licensing paperwork, which is identical, theoretically, with what the U.S. Postal Service has on file for you. So this is your first step. A lot of customers and clients have asked me, I run a home-based business. I don't want my email or my home address out all over the web for people to see. That's okay. They've fixed it. They have fixed it. So if you have a home office like me, you may indeed need to put your home office address in to be verified. And we'll talk about the verification process in just a second. So if you have a location, you're going to click yes and enter your location. If you don't have a location that customers visit, you will click no, and you will then be able to provide a service area. And I believe you can list up to 12 service areas. You can use cities near you, you can use countries, you can target the whole United States, but a service area allows you to not have your home address on the Google. And if you do have to put your address on in order to verify, then you would come back to this page before you publish it and then click hide address. So there is a way to do that. So you would choose one of these and then click the big blue next button. If you have an address, enter that address exactly the way it appears. If you are inside another organization, another building or another facility, add that to your profile as well. Include your suite, your floor, your building numbers. Remember, this is how people are going to drive right up to your door and find you. So be as specific as you can and be as consistent as you can. Here's how you add the service area. So if you provide deliveries or home and office visits, you can click yes right here, and you will see that they allow you to add the areas that you serve. Now that's optional, but I think I would go and add them because I don't necessarily want clients from Indonesia. I only want clients from Michigan, let's say, which is where I am, and it's snowing again. But for you home-based businesses worried about adding your address, this takes care of that. So a nice improvement here. All right, so next up is enter your business info. You have a ton of things on this platform that you can fill in, and every one of those pieces of information is going to make you more findable on a Google search, okay, or Google Maps. We're just going to call it Google search because it's everything. So you would want to put your phone number if you accept calls. If you're a home-based business and you don't have a customer service line, then you could leave that blank. But I think Google would really like it if you put some sort of a phone number in there. You also can connect your website URL to the Google, which is helpful when people come into the search. And there's that little button on that info panel that says website. Click to visit website. They're already there. So make sure you use those two things to get started. Next, you're going to choose your verification. And I had, for the longest time, I had a little postcard laying here. Most of the time, you won't be able to verify by mail. So you need to put in your business address, put in your phone number, put in your URL, and then the bots in Google are going to run around out there and go, is this really someone? Is this really a business? And if it is, they're going to verify you. But before you can launch this page and really do much with it, you have to get verified. So you may choose a verification message. If this is the business phone number, when the Google calls, you should answer it with the business name. If you choose to receive a postcard by mail, it's actually more of a 5x7 flyer kind of paperish. It's not postcard. And it's mailed through the US mail. So you want to make sure that anyone in your office, your frontline people, know that that's coming, because if you lose that, you'll have to start the verification process over again. And that is, oh, I found one. And that is no fun. So this is what it looks like. Comes to you. And it has a great number on it. And you'll go back in at a later period of time and enter that number to get verified if it doesn't happen right away. I have had people get verified instantly. I don't know why. So postcards coming, make sure you watch for it. It's going to have a verification code. You're going to see something like this. You'll go in and click continue, and you will be able to add more business details. Now, I think it's important to note that there is a lot you can do to prepare this Google business page. One, before it's verified, and two, before you even launch your business. So you're able to actually add an anticipated opening date in the Google business profile if your business is not open yet. So Google has a section for services and it has a section for products. If you have services, you would want to enter those. If they are like, for example, mine has social media consulting, website design, email marketing consulting. Those are all services that I provide. And once you enter that service and save it, you'll be able to go back into the service and actually add a little description and even add either a price for that service or a price range for that service. So that's what you want to do with your services, and put as many in there as you can. I mean, these are search terms. You know, my biggest search term result appears to be public relations. And I don't even know anyone who uses that very, very often anymore as a terminology. It's all marketing and comms. But I have public relations on my Google, on my website, on my Facebook, on my LinkedIn. So I get calls from people for that. If you have a service, add it here. Absolutely add your business hours. If you have ever driven around with your Google map open on your phone, looking for someplace to eat in Charlottesville, Virginia, go Who's, you know how awful it is to not know if the business is open or not. And that is simply someone not claiming, verifying, and updating their Google business profile. It's crazy, I know. Why would you not use this tool, which is absolutely free? So you can not only add your business hours, but you can add special hours like Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. You have an option to turn on messaging through Google Business Profile. I don't have mine turned on because I am not right there at the get-go, at the ready, anytime someone wants to send a message through Google. So you have the opportunity to turn that on or to turn that off. It's up to you. It depends on your own personal preferences. Write your business description. Okay, I love this. You notice right down here in the corner, it says 0 out of 750. That 750 is the number of characters that Google is giving you to describe your business. Use 749 of them if you can. Don't drop into sentences and call it good. And don't hit skip, for goodness sake. Tell us, take this right off of your website's About Us page. Take this right off your Facebook About Us page, but talk about the business. Don't just say, we make widgets. We make yellow ducky widgets. We're good at making yellow ducky widgets. Talk about it. We started in 1991. We started with 1 plant and now we have 3 plants. We provide services across multiple countries, blah, blah, blah. Use up the characters. That's keywording opportunities for you to get the words and phrases in there so that you'll be found when people start to look for those things. Oh, and add pictures. Okay, I think there's, let me check. Yeah, there's, I was gonna say, I think there's another slide on photos coming up. Here's the thing, videos is gonna always be your #1 seller. Video is always gonna get more attention than a still shot. A still shot is gonna get more attention than nothing. So having photographs is really, really important. And there's a place that you can add those right into your business profile. Now, pro tip, got a couple of these. I don't know if they're really real, but it's what I do. I name my files, my actual photographs, what they are. So if I have a service, it might say Public Relations Consulting, Sherry Bales. That would be the name of my photograph because that metadata goes with the picture when you upload it. So I have to think it can't hurt. But then add those photos, add a photo or 2 or 6 or 10 or 100, but do it every so often, fairly regularly. For most of my clients, we try to add photos at least once a month. And that's what your clients and your customers are going to see are those photos, and they're going to help tell your story. Very simple. Click add photos, like you've probably seen this interface on multiple platforms. Go find your picture and upload it. I do not advise clicking skip, just so you know. All right, if you intend to do Google Ads now or in the future, go ahead and connect yourself to Google Ads. They are giving away credits now. And the most recent one that I received for a client was spend $500, get $500 free. $500 in Google Ads can go a long ways. There are some tips and tricks to it, but Google has really good support. If you get logged into your Google Ads account and you need help, click the question mark and the help button, and someone will call you or email you. And they literally have people who will walk you through setting up your very first Google ad. Kind of cool. Okay, so once you get your postcard, so this is all the stuff you could do before you even verify your account. You can add photos, you can add services, all that stuff before you even get your postcard. Once you get it, you'll see this enter verification code come up. That's what you're going to need to verify it. But in the meantime, you've entered all that other information. All right, here's the big change coming up. Cindy, are you listening? This is for my friend Cindy. She says, I just don't want to look it up. You just tell me how to do it and I'll go do it. Agreed. Yeah, I kicked and fought and yelled over this for about 2 days, maybe 3. And then my Google partner reached out and went, all right, it's okay. It's just different. It's not bad. I'm not sure about it's not bad because there are some things still missing, but it is okay once you get used to looking at it. So we're used to looking at, if you can see on the left-hand side here, Google Business Profile Manager, and then we had all these nice little buttons down here, all gone, all gone. All you need to do now is search the name of your company or your business as it is said, not the URL, but the entire name, Vince's Village Cobbler. This is what's going to show up in your search results. It will say you manage this business on Google. These are the tools that you're going to need to make those edits that we just talked about, to edit your profile, to turn on messaging, to add photos. And then there's some other cool things, services, products in there as well. But remember, you've got to be signed into the right Google account to make this work. All right, so from this list, we're going to start with edit profile. And we still have the little Google business building, which is kind of nice because it actually looks like the old version. But see, all those buttons we used to have down the side are now lined up across here. And you have to just keep clicking, clicking, clicking to get there. So you click edit business profile or edit profile. Here's where you're going to check and confirm your business name. You'll select a category for your business, and it's not going to be exactly who you are and what you do. So just try to get close. Google forces you into some certain categories, which is okay. It's easier for them to find things. Make sure you have your description, your location, your hours, and then anything else that more provides to you. And I'll talk about a few of those extra little goodies in just a second. This is the coolest thing Google's done in a long time, and is still being rolled out, so you might not see it on every single platform. But under that more, Google has implemented what they call attributes, and that is who I am and what I am and why I'm here, basically. So if you are Asian-owned, Black-owned, Latina-owned, LGBTQ-owned, veteran-owned, or woman-owned, you would want to select the appropriate boxes and toggle those switches on as yes. People are searching with these criteria. It's important to know if you fit any of these groups, this is an advantage that Google is giving you. And they're saying, hey, you can use this to make yourself look better to other people. Now, you may not have this in every single business category. Can't guarantee it, but look for the attributes under more in this first business information button that we clicked in. All right, let's talk about our services. Remember I told you could add like a ton of services here. You have a primary category, and then you can enter individual services under that primary category. Now, you can set this to anything you want. The trick is once you enter all of these in, you need to go back here and click this pop open arrow to get to the editing part where you can write a description of what a heel repair actually is. So you can give a price range or a price for that particular service. So this is really helpful. Again, if you're, I don't know what the hot phrase is, but if you're not afraid to put your prices out there, this is a great way for people to shop without even having to visit your website or come in and see you. We also have a place to put products. Now, products, there's a little thing called Pointy, which is the Google online store platform, and it helps you to get your products onto a Google page where people can actually find it. And I have just got some new release notes, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read some of this to you. But basically, you would click products. So remember, we're under the products button here, and you can add a new product by clicking get started. And Pointy is the free Google tool that allows you to add in-store products to Google as well. So if you have a brick and mortar and you want to sell bike helmets on your Google profile through your Google business profile, you can do that. I'm not going to go into that in great detail because I think that's really a specialized market. But if you have products, be sure and do a little bit of research. I'm going to send you some resources at the end about how to really make that products page work for you. And I do have clients who use this, and those products do generate sales and traffic to the website. So that's a handy thing to know. Here's that photos button. Okay, this is different. This is annoying. And I'm looking at myself speaking. This is the place where you normally could just click on photos and see all your great photos and see how many people had viewed all your photos. No more. So now the only way to see what photos you have is to actually click photo, upload a photo. And then once you upload that photo, Google will pop up and say, hey, do you want to see the rest of your photos? In which case you can say yes and go look at your photos. You can click, there's a little garbage can delete in the top right corner of any picture that you don't want to keep. You also want to add your logo here. Tip, you can't use a big horizontally shaped logo for a profile logo image in a Google, and you can't really use it on Facebook either. So concentrate on round or vertical logos or putting white space around it so it will fit into a smaller place. Cover photo, that should be what you lead with. If you have a great product, that's your cover photo. If you have a location, that's your cover photo. As I'm driving around and I'm looking for you with my Google, like you said, with my phone up, I'm going to see that picture of your storefront and I'm going to recognize that this is the right place and I am here. So adding photos also includes putting your logo on your page, putting your cover photo on your page. And obviously people are going to be, I didn't realize this, 90%. People are going to be more interested in visiting you if they see what you do and what you have to offer. So let's work on getting those photos named properly and then getting them uploaded a few at a time. You can do a bunch when you start and then keep adding to them over the time period. Tips for great photos, just in case you didn't know. So we are pretty accepting of iPhone or Galaxy photos anywhere now. You do not need a professional photographer. If you have professional photographs, that's great. Use them. You might need to downsize them in terms of the file size because you can't go above, I think it's 5 megs is the biggest file picture that you can upload. But you want to use specific images for sure of your best products, your best services, showcase your brand. And you see that that Vince has the storefront as his cover image. And you also have the space here to add video. Up to 30 seconds. That's a pretty good long video. So keep that in mind when you get to that photos and you click that add photos, you also can add video in there. So it's not just for photos. All right, a lot of the time I get questions saying, I don't know what to post. And then the rest of the time I get questions like, is there really something like social media on Google? Your answer is yes. Google started this platform started maybe before this, but as far as I go back, with Google Plus, and Google Plus was Google's answer to Facebook. They wanted to have a place where people could come and chat and be friends and things like that. It didn't take off. So they went, all right, forget about you. We're going to focus on businesses and businesses chatting with each other and getting into this searchable platform, if you will. And that was the start of Google Business Profile. So that has been wonderful. Actually, nope, it was Google My Business. Now it's Google Business Profile. I don't have to take a penalty for that one. So to do a post, I don't know why it's not just called add a post. It's called add update. And again, we're still on those buttons that we saw on the very first slide. Once you get in there, it looks real similar to what you used to have, only it's just a smaller platform. This is important. 156 out of 1,500 possible characters to fill up with this information. Why would you put 150 if they're giving you 1,500? Copy and paste off your website. Take a chunk of information, find a photo, and they say you can add 10 photos. I add 2 or 3, and it almost always publishes the same photo 2 or 3 times. So I've got a little workaround where I'll put my photo in there, and I'll tell you what this is in a second, and I'll post it, and then I'll go back in and edit that post and add the second photo and then save it, and then add the third photo and then save it. Just my experience. You might be able to put 10 photos in there and have them work like a charm. It has not been my experience. This add a button is not optional, not at all in my mind. And what's under there, if you go into your profile as you're making a post and you click that, is a multitude of what we call calls to action. Those are words like call now, read more, sign up, find. It's everything you could hope to ask people to do after reading about your business. So don't leave this blank. Choose one. If you put call now, your phone number will automatically populate. If you say click a link or learn more, you're going to paste the link in to your website. And if it's a product post, if you're advertising shoe repair, then my URL to learn more would be cleaner, what's our name here? Village Tailor / shoe repair. I would take them right to the shoe repair page, not to the home page. If you take me to the home page and I've done a search like size 10 women's pickleball shoes, Nike red, and I put that in my Google search bar and Google goes, yeah, we got something for you, bam. And they show me Nike's homepage, probably not going to dig again and do another search. So just a little pro tip, a little strategy there. Send people to the exact URL where they can take the action that you have just mentioned. Here are some updates. Here are some post examples. Most of the clients that I work with only use updates. However, if you have a special offer, if you have an event, those tools exist in that create update, create post button. So you can decide if you want an update, an offer, or a post. And then you'll see the buttons down here on the bottom of each one of these. Sign up, that's your call to action. View offer or call, that's your call to action. Learn more, those are your calls to action. Without those, all you're doing is throwing it out there and hoping that somebody looks at it. And we don't know that that's going to happen unless we ask them to do something. So we always try to ask them to take an action, and that way you have measurable results. Here's a couple of ways that Google recommends that you that you can connect with your customers and manage reviews. And I'll tell you my secret on that in just a second. So in these panels, you can see there are 3 buttons flown out there: read reviews, messages, which you had to turn on if you didn't, and Q&A. Read reviews is probably the most important button right there. And if you have not read your reviews and responded to each one, you should go do that. Now, all right, what do I say to someone who gave me a good review or a bad review? Here's an example. For a good review, I would say, always mentioning them by name, thank you so much for the great 5-star review on Hannah Gold Communications, Sherry. We appreciate your kind words and will share them with our team. So by responding, you get the opportunity to put the words 5-star review in again, and you're calling that person by name. And now they feel a connection with you. They may even feel enough of a connection to be brand loyal to you and your organization. Another way to talk to customers is by answering questions. You can see just under this blue box, it says questions and answers. And then it says ask a question. If you don't have any questions, get 4 or 5 of your friends to go there and type in and ask you questions on your Google Business Profile. It's more information. It's almost like your FAQ section of the website. It gives people more information about you in that one place. They might not even need to visit your website. So you're giving them the option here, to really communicate back and forth with them. And then messages, like I said, if you turn those on, you need to respond to those. So here are some Google tips. Obviously, after it is verified, you should click and respond to reviews. What happens if you get a 1-star review? It happens, trust me. Here's the thing. We are pretty smart consumers nowadays, and we realize there are some angry people out there who may have had one poor experience in what was otherwise 100 years of great service. So we discount these horrible 1-star reviews as shoppers, as customers, because we kind of get it. We can tell when somebody's just being a snot, and we can go, all right, I'm going to look at some other reviews, okay? There's no way to get rid of negative reviews. Let's just put that out there. The best way to combat them is to get more positive reviews. And with that being said, there is a scam right now going on that I've heard of with 5-star restaurants where someone is trying to coerce them into paying, or this scammer is going to leave terrible reviews all over their Google reviews. Now we're talking like 5-star restaurants here, not Lucas Taylor shop. So they're holding these restaurants hostage. So the Google actually got involved on this one. And the Restaurant Owners Association went to them and they said, you have to help us. We can't be tied up like this. And Google said, okay, you're right. We'll take those off. And they took them all off, because there was evidently no way to just sort out the spam ones. So that's kind of a tough road, but don't expect that Google to remove a negative review. Instead, respond without apologizing. And there's so many different ways we do this. One could be, gee, Sherry, thanks for letting me know about your visit. That sure doesn't sound like our typical customer experience. Would you call our manager at blah, 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 so we can learn more? Okay, so you have just diffused this angry person by saying, wow, I'd really like to hear more. I've seen some other more long and involved responses like, hey, Sherry, you aren't a customer of ours, so we're really wondering where you got all this information and how you know what you're talking about. I've seen some people have a little fun with that too. So if you get a negative review, point is, don't dwell on it. You're going to get one. It's going to hurt. And then you're just going to go get more good reviews, but don't neglect to respond to it, because then it looks like you're hiding. But don't start with, oh, I'm so sorry, because it might not even have happened, right? It could be someone just making this up. So don't respond with, I'm sorry that happened. That's my soapbox. I'll get off of that. There's a button in here that says get more reviews. They have made this much easier to find. I do appreciate that. You may share this link to your Google reviews page through email, WhatsApp, because they own that, and Facebook. Or you can copy it and put it at the end of your invoice or your billing or an email correspondence where you're closing out a client or a customer. Lots of places that you can put this, that you can use it. You can even integrate this on your website. So they have a little icon that says, give us a Google review. Google reviews are going to get you a lot farther than Facebook reviews, or even, I shouldn't say or even, and potentially even more than reviews on your own website, because it's Google. Google runs the game. Let's play with the Google tools and see if it helps. All right, so ask for those reviews. I'm actually going to flash up a QR code at the end here to my Google site. If you liked it, give me a good review. If you didn't like it, send me an email and we'll talk. All right, tips for responding to messages. If you have messages turned on, great. I know Facebook offers, I probably shouldn't say this, some canned responses to messaging that are things like, what are your hours? Do you accept MasterCard? Do you deliver? I haven't seen that yet. So more than likely, you're going to have to be responding manually. And again, if you have to wait 3-4 hours before I come and check my messages on Google and then go to my email and then respond to you, it's probably going to be less of a customer service tool and more of an annoyance for me. So I don't have that on. There are some performance reports. We've lost a lot of insights here, folks. I used to love these Google Insights a ton. This shows us an overview, and that 6452 is the number of business profile interactions. So that's the number of times that your business profile information was shown to people searching for your product or service or business. The next button, I don't think they show you each one. Yeah, they don't. The next button is calls. There is a call tracker that you can turn on, and it will tell you when calls came in, who they were from, the number, and whether or not they were answered. It also shows you the call duration. So I do have a couple clients who use that, and that's really helpful, especially if you have employees, frontline people who are handling these calls coming in, because this is probably going to be your number one call referral site. We need to make sure they're getting answered, and you'll be able to see any trends for when that's not happening. There's your messages. If you use a booking platform, if you take reservations, they have that opportunity. Directions will be generated by Google Maps. So you definitely want your address to be the exact same one that it is on Google Maps and Google Business and your website. And then it will also measure the number of website clicks. What I miss here is a deeper dive analytics, which showed the activity that people took. How many people chose to go to the website? How many people asked for directions? Now I have, and if you have any thoughts on this, send me an email, because I have a pipeline to Google business developers, and they told me if you see things as you're presenting this that you want us to change, we are still rolling this out. So this is not set in stone. Things may change, things may come back that are kind of missing, like the reports and the insights. This is a really good time, I think, to just give you 2 or 3 examples of how important a Google business profile is. Number one example, Brewpub restaurant, couple locations, big on Yelp. We got to have Yelp. We got to have TripAdvisor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great. Have you got a Google business profile? No, we don't need that. Well, why not? Well, because it doesn't do anything. Oh, you're wrong. You're just wrong. So I set up the Google business profile, one for each location, because you can do that. You get the old platform if you have multiple locations too. So that's an aside we don't need. They set those up. I tracked their engagements and all of their visits and everything to Yelp. And then I tracked all of their engagements and their clicks and their visits to their Google business page. And then I presented a nice little report that said, here are your 900 Yelp interactions for the last 3 months. And they got all excited. And then I said, and here is your Google Business Profile results. Location A had 21,792 interactions. Location B had 27,000 interactions. 27,000 people were shown this Brewpub's Google Business Profile page at the time, Google My Business. Absolutely crazy that they weren't using that. We maximize that out. They take bookings. We ran with them all through COVID. So this was a huge tool for Google for this Brewpub. Second business, a wine tasting room, kind of rural in a kind of lakeish area, but not right on the lake shore here. Again, they had a Google profile. They weren't using it. They claimed it. They had their business hours and they had a lot of business info, a couple of photos, not really doing too much because they didn't really know what it would do for them. So we had a conference call and a working consult call, and we uploaded all the stuff. We filled in all the blanks. We used up all the characters. And I said at the end, I go, just for fun, let's go see how many people have been to this business profile or have been shown this business profile in a Google search. Well, it was well over 20,000 people. So again, the importance of this. In this Google Business Platform editing, there are 3 little dots. They call these like a hamburger stack. I don't know why. And then there's a up arrow right here. Click under there. You'll see over here on the side, these are all of the things that are under there. If you have multiple profiles, if you want to add a new profile, if you want to turn on or off notifications, if you need help, if you have feedback, send it, okay? So this little flyout is going to get you some of those other things that you don't have in these controls, all right? Help center. So that's the changes in a nutshell. Next thing for you guys to do is visit google.com/business, claim your profile. If it's claimed, go in and fill in all those blanks, complete it, make it, as full of words and keywords and phrases and stuff about you as you can. Meanwhile, request your postcard if you don't get a quick phone verification, which you probably shouldn't, and start adding photos and information. We talk about posting to Google Business Profile. Those posts can be almost the exact same thing as you're posting on social media, only with a call to action. Oh, here's an important part of posting on Google too, before I forget. Do not put your website or your phone number in your Google Business Profile update/post. That's what the call to action button is for. And if you do that, it's going to pop up and it's going to say denied. So that might be the reason why, if you've been trying to use that tool, I just found that over trial and error, basically. So that's something that you can watch for. So once you've got that profile, go in there once a week, add an update, add a photo, talk about it, add a link to your website, add a product, talk about it, add the price, put a link to buy it on your website. Add more business info, rewrite your about section, grow your about section, add videos, add photos. And then the performance reports, like I said, that shows you what action is being taken on your pages, what people are doing, what buttons they're clicking, and where you could benefit from perhaps giving that Google profile a little bit more love. All right, as promised, there are resources available from our friends at Grow with Google, and I'm going to be sending this out to you, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but Grow with Google has some Black-owned business kits and some general marketing kits that will help you to promote your business. I think they probably also give you this icon at this URL. You'll be getting this in email, so don't worry about writing it down. Go to YouTube, check out Grow with Google on YouTube. Eventually, maybe I'll have one there, but I love the presenters. And if you look for the newer versions of the Google webinars, you'll be in better shape, because I probably have 4 out there for Google My Business, which is not very helpful. But we're gonna start with this one, and we're gonna redo them all, and we're gonna do Grow with Google. So new video drops every Thursday if you're curious to know what's happening in the world of Google. This is something new that I have just started learning about, and I don't have a lot of detail, but Google is now offering career certificates for data analysis, digital and e-commerce marketing, IT, UX design, and project management. They offer these courses through Coursera, and there are scholarships available for these courses. If you are interested, grow.google/certificates will get you to the page where you can learn about that. They have tools to use Google and to teach Google. You can see educators, veterans, those are all the partners, local businesses, even job seekers. So job seekers and students, they have some resources for you too. And that's all I have. I am going to start to take some questions now while we sit here. I will be doing the questions live, so this will be the end of the recorded portion of the video. And don't forget, if you liked what you heard today, go ahead and give me a review on Google. I would love it. If you didn't, go ahead and go to my website and click the Contact Us form, and you can rant all you want. And I will be happy to hear from you either way. So stay tuned. I'm going to go into the questions portion right now. Stop.